on the sideline, and beans on the sidelines of the Bush's Beans. Wait, no.
Muffins and beans. That's a hell of a combination.
Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans is
a lot of bees.
What we're doing December 23rd, 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio Nuno.
So where to your heart?
Yeah, with beans, palm trees, beans, football, got it all.
The killer bees for anybody that's around you.
No doubt.
Bowl season is about to be here, and obviously the college football playoff is a huge topic of conversation. We are on Sportsmanlike. Wow, that was a loud sigh. That was a Nuno-like sigh from you. We are on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance. You could be a part of the show on the Unsportsmanlike Nation Dr. Pepper call-in line at 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation, presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. Notre Dame, clearly the biggest story. They were the ones left out. They also have decided to not play in a bowl game. The AD for Notre Dame, Pete Bavacqua, was on the Dan Patrick Show, and Dan asked him about not being in the bowl games and the playoff games. And here is the conversation between Dan and Pete Bavacqua, the AD at Notre Dame.
What role did the ACC play in any of this, in your opinion?
Well, I would tell you, I mean, again, I have tremendous respect for Miami. You know, great team, great school. Their athletic director, Dan Radakovich, is a good friend. And all the teams in the ACC, great, wonderful universities. We have no gripes about any of the schools in the ACC. But we were mystified by the actions of the conference to attack, you know, their biggest, really, business partner in football and a member of their conference in 24 of our other sports. And I would tell you, Dan, I wouldn't be honest with you if I didn't say that they have certainly done permanent damage to the relationship between the conference and Notre Dame.
What do you mean?
Just we didn't appreciate the fact that we were singled out repeatedly and compared to Miami. Not by Miami. Miami has every right to do that. But it raised a lot of eyebrows here that the conference was taking shots at us.
And editorializing for a second, that right there is why Dan is the greatest of all time. The simple, what do you mean?
It's so funny you say that. I thought
God, is that good?
I thought the exact same thing.
I know
I'm
that's
like,
not the
man,
focal
he's
point,
good at
but
this.
What do you mean? Just simply saying, what do you mean? Man. Okay, sorry.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, we're broadcast nerds here on this show, the three of us.
Very well done by Dan.
So now you can make it, Dan, because we told you. Permanent damage is an interesting comment from Pete Bavacqua. What does permanent damage mean exactly when Notre Dame is part of the ACC, but not part of the ACC for football by their choice? The ACC would, I'm sure, love to have Notre Dame as part of the football part of it. Yeah. Whether you agree with the decision or not, what do you want the ACC to do? Not vouch for Miami, or if it were Virginia or any of their other schools? Of course they're going to do that.
Yeah, but it's a zero-sum game, though, because in order for you to be in, that means somebody has to be out. Your win has to come at the expense of somebody else. And in this instance, it came at Notre Dame's expense, who is somebody that you do a lot of business with in the other sports in your collegiate program. So I think that there is merit to what Pete Bavacqua was saying in terms of the ACC commissioner, Jim Phillips, and Miami's athletic director throwing Notre Dame under the bus and holding up what happened in week one as a billboard as to why Miami is more deserving than Notre Dame to get in. Now, I completely disagree with the committee's assessment. I thought they got it wrong. I thought they copped out with something that was easy, something that was low-hanging fruit in terms of being able to explain why Miami got in over Notre Dame. I don't think they had any nuance, any context around, you know, the seasons that those two schools were able to put together. I think they anchored on something that everybody saw, which was the head-to-head matchup. And if the two teams are side by side with the same exact record, we're just going to tick the team that won the regular season matchup.
To be clear, I'm with you. I was very surprised that Notre Dame was left out based on not only the losses that they had to two ranked opponents, the margin of those losses, 4 points combined, when it happened at the beginning of the season, weeks 1 and 2. And not only that, based on the precedent that was set with the previous rankings. They were not outside of the top 10 in any of the prior rankings, so I thought that was leading the way for them to punch their ticket and be in. Now, when it comes to the ACC of it all, I hate to say it, but this is the consequence of you wanting to remain independent. What is the ACC supposed to do? Yes, you are a business partner in other sports, but in this particular endeavor, they should not have any loyalty to you. They should have loyalty to the other programs within their conference, and them having the proper representative in the college football playoff and having an opportunity to compete for a national championship. They can't go into that moment and say, well, I don't want to upset Notre Dame because of basketball. No, they need to cape for their conference. And part of Notre Dame's overall brand is this independence, and that's great. But it also works against you when you go into moments like this and you don't have the backing of other people and another conference behind you.
Completely agree. Our producer, Nuno Miguel Barrera Teixeira, always likes to talk about how we're moving the story forward, right? So in this specific case, I believe that the conversation we're having is moving the story forward from the point that we were at on Sunday. While I disagree with you about Miami versus Notre Dame versus Alabama, but who should be in, that's over, right? This is actually now moving the story forward, because I think two things can be true. You can say, both of you, what you think about Notre Dame they should be in. That's done. Put that to the side. This is about an AD, an unbelievably powerful, successful, accomplished AD, in the case of Pete Bavacqua running Notre Dame, suggesting that he has an issue with the conference he is choosing to not be a part of, to not cape for them. That is a wild thought. And I understand they are technically business partners, but not with this specific part of the business. There are many people in the business world that have business partnerships that are exclusive to a certain part of the business, not the other parts of the business. In this specific case, it is illogical for the ACC to do anything other than to fight for their member institutions for football to be in the college football playoff. And that is the unfortunate downside for Notre Dame. There's a starting in 2026.
Next year.
Yeah, there's a huge year's tough for me. There's a huge upside to not being in the conference because they've cut a side deal in front of everybody else.
Yeah, this is the only time they're going to have to worry about this particular set of circumstances.
Now let's give some context. The side deal is if they finish in the top 12, they're in no matter what. They basically have an automatic bid to the college football playoff. What I guess what could happen in the future is if they're hovering around 13, do they just move them into the top 12? And we have a whole different argument. But in the moment that we're in moving the story forward, where their problem is here is that they're asking for someone who they've chosen to not represent them to represent them. That's an odd one.
Feels a bit arrogant, no?
That has been the other part of this, that people have looked at Notre Dame and the allegations around the aura of Notre Dame forever is, oh, you think you're better than everyone. Now, factually, financially, they are. They are. They have their own separate deal. They don't have to be in a conference.
Correct.
So let's take out your feelings. Let's just use facts. No one else has been offered the deal that they have been offered to be on network television. Okay?
They are a huge money-making brand.
And they're a money-making brand for any network that would put them on. What do you think? We wouldn't want them on at ESPN? Of course we would, in terms of the college football playoff. But in this specific case, you made your bed. You got to lay in it.
But just think about this on the surface. I'm choosing not to partner with you, yet I want you to have my back.
Well, here's the part that I kind of get where Pete Bavacqua is coming from. Miami is an ACC school. Jim Phillips, the commissioner, and the athletic director for Miami are both advocating to have ACC representation in the college football playoff. In order to do that, they are actively tearing down the season that Notre Dame has been able to put together. They are literally going into the meeting and saying, we belong in the playoff ahead of Notre Dame. That was the team that was in front of them in the rankings.
Can I ask you a quick question
so
on
what
that?
they're saying is, well, this school, Miami, is a representative of the ACC in football. Notre Dame does not represent us. But Notre Dame is a part of the ACC family with all of the other college sports programs. What Pete Bavacqua is saying is this is somebody that we do business with. Our finances are somewhat commingled in terms of our business interest.
Sure.
We're making money with the ACC.
Sure.
And they are actively undermining our bid to get into the college football playoff. Now they're doing it to advocate for a member school in football, but it's not as if the ACC as a conference isn't attacking Notre Dame's argument to be in the playoff.
Well, that's what we don't know. Here's the question.
No, we do know that.
No,
they have to.
No, they do not.
They do.
They do not. Here's why. How do we know they didn't go in there arguing against Alabama? Why would you not, in that scenario, if you're a business partner in 17 other sports?
You can't argue for a school in Miami to be in the college football playoff and represent the ACC against a school in Alabama who made it to their conference title game.
But 3 losses versus 2.
No, but they made it to the conference title game. And their loss in the conference title game came to a team that they had already beaten. So it wasn't Jim Phillips in Miami going in there saying, oh, we got a better case to be made over Alabama. That's not what happened. What they did is go in there and argue about the team that was potentially on the bubble as first out, which was Notre Dame.
But isn't that their job? To advocate for their schools
Correct.
in the ACC to get a spot in the college football playoff? Isn't that just them simply doing their job?
It's
Yes.
awkward, Smalls. It's awkward. This is an awkward situation, and I know people of Aqua doesn't want to hear this, but their independence creates a conflict of interest when it comes to a significant business partner that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't want us to be dismissive of the fact that Miami is actively undermining Notre Dame's bid to be in the college football playoff in order to get an ACC school into the playoff.
Did I miss the word of the day? You're giving me a look.
Oh, you already missed it. 6:18.
What?
Frazzled.
Frazzled? Frazzled?
Shenanigans.
Blame the app. Frazzled. Word of the day.
Here's why, by the way.
Showing
go
clear
ahead.
signs of being exhausted or overwhelmed, which maybe you are because this is now 5 in
I
a
am
row.
not that. Now that's
Frazzled.
insulting. I'd rather
Frazzled.
miss the word than being said called exhausted and overwhelmed. That's personal.
This is like an Eagles collapse for Evan here.
5 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Cohen. Is this also Nick Sirianni's fault?
I'll blame him. Yeah, blame Sirianni. I need new.
Or is
coordinators.
Canty or AJ Brown?
Oh,
Canty's put so much pressure on you to
Yeah.
make sure you get it right.
That's right.
That you're missing it.
I
So
just need to
Canty's
get
your
my
AJ
touches.
Brown.
I need to get my
Clearly.
touches. I need my touches.
so he's Jalen Hurts, which he
I
loves, and you're
gotta
AJ
get
Brown.
my touches, man.
There's more on that because you just brought something up that we have to dive into more of the Notre Dame part of this. Plus, if you need a quarterback, call your grandpa. We'll get to that coming up. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance. But first, Smalls has this from Venmo.